Hey everybody, welcome to the Trust the Shooters, basically quarter award show slash power rankings slash fun teams power rankings.
Which is not like, oh, this is the best team right now, bro. This is the team you want to watch and like just, hang out with for a couple of hours. You've got limited time. You want to sit down and watch this team ranked. Boom.
So we're going to start there. Number one, it's going to be different for each person at the top of these lists, for you personally listening. For me, the number one team to watch for the most fun, with the most stuff going on, is the Seattle Storm. Covered the offense on the channel, the youth, the defense, the coaching. Love it all. They got that Miami Heat vibe with one big, one elite scorer, sometimes two bigs when they have Ezzy and Russell in together. Lately they've been starting that. But when Horston's in, Horston does a lot of that Jimmy Butler kind of role on defense. And then Jewel Lloyd and Ezzy are surrounded by just shooters, just straight up shooters. They have just a steady rotation of guards and youth coming off the bench, like the Miami Heat does, of shooters. Horston's the weird X factor on the team, does that Jimmy Butler, the extra big, kind of the small ball lineup, gives him a different edge to him. Every player that gets the rebound has the potential to bring the ball up on a transition or fast break. As far as guards and depth, they've finally been starting Dojkic. As soon as they switch to Dojkic, it's been obvious. Dojkic has been amazing. She gets it. She's a good shooter. She attacks the rim like nothing I've ever seen, knows how to play defense from the weak side and help. Just a huge impactful player. And then a little bit of the other ones coming off the bench. You have Melbourne when she gets some minutes. She's been fine. They benched the 1 point guard, but she was fine too now, coming in and out when she does. It's been good. I'm missing players, but it's more about the team you'd see when you watch. A little something to think about. I don't have time to get into all these, but I kind of got into the big points. Number two, this is more than no-brainer. It's probably be a lot of people's number ones. The New York Liberty. This is the super team with 3 point guards and an MVP caliber player. You have one sniper, one dimer, one magician, one MVP, and one pirate. Let alone the other role players that come in. They've been very impactful too so far. Things to watch for them. Vandersloot's gonna dime up a Storm. Ionesco will shoot from deep. It's fun. Stewart, when she's on one, not only is she an incredibly efficient scorer, she impacts the game defensively. Just took over the third quarter a couple games, like a handful of games ago, and it was astonishing to watch. Jarkel Jones also, as soon as she starts to ease in and figure out her role, she's going to be a big pillar of that team too. And then you've got the biggest player to watch though is Johannes. I remember starting the season, people were mentioning her, and I was like, ain't no way she's gonna come in and be that good. They're just hyping her up, right? This is and then she starts doing crazy. She finally did a super duper flashy layup, little clutch, little go for the layup, pull it down, put it back up, layup high off the glass with a lot of English. Was a super crazy good layup. Was super impressed by it. She'll try crazy passes. She's willing to just shoot at all times. It's fun to watch. Number 3 on the list, the Connecticut Sun. They got that college team vibe. They've got 2 super elite players offensively and team-wise with Bonner and Alyssa Thomas. The triple-double machine. Bonner's got sneaky deep range shooting threes. Their center's been playing very good this year too. Kind of got that, whatever the nickname Kevin Durant doesn't want, give that to Becca Allen. Slim Reaper, Durant, can't call her Durantula, but you get the point.
He threw it down. Are you healed? Are you healed?
Praise the Lord, I'm healed.
Praise the Lord, for I'm healed. It is the Shane Heal.
Shooters shoot.
Shoot your shot. Light 'em up award.
She runs off screen, she shoots, she has no hesitation on shooting, will shoot, and is Australian. Shout out. Gotta have the Australian bonus. Speaking of that, you can edit this back into the front. Don't forget New York's coach is Australian too. Melbourne for Seattle's Australian. A lot of Australians in this league. This is going to be the WNBA version of NBA Australia.
Giving you the lowdown on the NBA season while repping Australia a little bit. That's what we do.
And then the coach of Connecticut is Stephanie White, who's an incredible coach, great commentator. Very cool that I got to listen to her call games. And then now I get to watch her coach, and I can analyze her now. It's kind of very funny. Number 4 on the list. And the only reason why they're number 4, the Vegas Aces, is because I think they're too good. They're not fun. When they're not going against Liberty or Connecticut or the first half of the Seattle Storm game, they're not fun to watch. They're too good. They blow every team out. There's too many options. If half their starters have a bad game, okay, well, the other two are going to go bonkers, so it doesn't really matter. The novelty's fun in your first couple watches, but after that, it starts to wear off. In the playoffs, it'll be different, though, but in the regular season, it's not. So this is where we get into the weird spot. I'm going to do some projecting here. I'm not going to do, these aren't the strictly power rankings. I'm not strictly doing the Chris Sims quarterback list. I'm going to do some projecting. And as of now, number 5 is the Atlanta Dream. They've got a very good starting 5. They've got a very good 6, 7, 8 players off the bench. Naz Hillman, A.D. Durr, the sniper off the bench. Missing a couple players. Very fun team. They got that Toronto Raptors vibe on offense. A smidge of that Chicago Bulls vibe on offense, where now that they put Haley Jones in, they have a true point guard, but Gray can handle the ball and score very easily. Howard was very entertaining to watch. Their center, Parker, big fan of hers. It's a very fun team to watch. Keep an eye on Atlanta, though. They've got to keep it up on the trajectory, but they are very fun to watch. Number 6 would be the LA Sparks, and they've been a little, because of the injuries, it hurts them. They could easily be number 4. It's kind of a tie, but I just prefer Atlanta at the moment and their team and the health and everything. But what the LA Sparks have, they have a death lineup. Whether it's Hamby and NECA or the dual Agumekes, the Wonder Twins combo kind of thing. Too many Agumekes on the court. Not good for the other team, I'll tell you that. When they play them two with 3 guards, any combination of Isaiah Cook, Canada, Lexi Brown, Samuelson off the bench, any combination, it's a very interesting team. They can play 3 guards. It's a very interesting team. Very fun to watch. Coach doesn't seem that bad. Don't have a lot of issues with him. He noticed the death lineup too. Played it basically the next quarter after I noticed it. Basically played it the next game after I noticed it. He played it. It's worked. Lexi Brown's been playing bonkers. Canada's been playing bonkers. Hope to see Cook get into a rhythm again. Samuelson's very good at shooting. It's a very fun team to watch. At number 7, next up would be Washington. I have it written down, but I actually disagree with my notes. Somebody talked me into it. Washington. We'll go with Washington Mystics. I'd rather watch the Chicago Sky, so it's like a tie. I think Copper and Bambry and the white Kyle Lowry are more fun to watch, but look, Deladon and Austin are very fun. If Cloud gets hot shooting, Washington's the 4th best record in the league for a reason. You can't go wrong with either of these teams. Chicago's been slumping, so you can probably go Washington. We got Washington, we got Chicago. We covered, Copper's super fun to watch when her shot's on. Very fun to watch. Both of them. When either star in Chicago's shots are on, a lot of fun to watch. And when it's not on, they do have an Australian at power forward, that Smith player. Shout out to the Aussies. At number 9, we got Dallas. This is a weird one. I'm not a fan of watching the WNBA version of the Mavericks. I was rooting for the Mavericks for like 3 years straight. Always disappoint. They can never hold it together. The superstars could never shoot efficiently in enough games in a row to make it worth it. Sabali's playing great, yes, but I don't know. I'm not sold on them either. Number 10, honestly, I would personally demote Dallas for it, but I mean, I don't know. It's all kind of a wash around here. And then not really, but Number 10, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go Minnesota at number 12. I'm going to go Minnesota at number 10 against my better judgment. I only say that because they are such a stacked team. They just have a horrible coach, and they've been hit with injuries. They have Mitchell. They have, what's her name? They have Uhas, the rookie, playing the big minutes. Diamond's been hurt, which has been horrible. Collier's been playing bonkers. One of my favorite players in the league, Bantam. Whenever she's on, it's electric. You don't know what's going to happen. Shepard's been hurt too. We'll see. They even have, who is it? Rivers off the bench. I saw the duel they had, Michigan State versus Minnesota in college. Bantam dropped like 56 or something. Rivers dropped 40. I don't know. There was a lot of potential on that team. That would move Indiana down to number 11. Another coach I don't like, anybody at the bottom of this list, basically, their coaching's big issue. There is that argument, toughest league to get in, 144 roster spots, 12 teams. At the same time, seems like the easiest league to get in as a coach. Got all kind of weirdo coaches in there. Don't know, don't got a clue. Got nepotism coaches in Washington. Whether or not he deserves a job or not, it's not my point. I'm just saying it's the coach's son. I don't know. Can't tell you. But what I can tell you is the top 4 teams, coaches, are incredible and definitely deserve their jobs. I don't know. James Wade, everybody goes back and forth. Whatever. Atlanta coach, she seems like she's on the up and up and up. Washington, nepotism. Dallas's coach, little questionable, plays their stars way too long. Has rookies that should probably play a little bit more. So that's where I stand on these coaches, by the way. Let's get back to Indiana. Leah Boston, a lot of fun to watch, super good, getting better every game. Probably should be averaging 30 points a game at this point. You have way too many point guards and shooter. Well, they should be playing a different style offense. When you have the Smith and Kelsey Mitchell, like, why aren't they shooting more threes? Why is your team so bad at shooting threes? Something's going on there. It should be a lot more pick and roll with Berger and Wheeler with Boston as the main offense, and just let Boston break the defense and just and then play simple basketball from there. I don't get it. It's cringe watching some of these bottom 3 teams. And the easiest one, number 12, Phoenix. Look, with Taurasi and having a really bad shooting year, starting to fall apart. Man, I feel bad, man. Taurasi's been struggling, and she's been hurt now. Griner's been playing great. She's pretty fun to watch, but now she's hurt too. Sutton's been really good. Cunningham's been really good, like the last couple games. I said she's like a mix of, on that team, like Tobias Harris mixed with Jordan Poole. Like, she shoot like Jordan wishes he could. Like, she was shooting some deep throws. She was shooting some. There's some seashells by the seashore store right there. She was shooting some really quick catch and shoot. She was shooting quick, some catch and shoot threes from good ranges. Couple of them some deep bombs. One of them, I can't remember who it was, if it was Sutton or somebody, but they passed the ball while falling down, and Cunningham caught it and shot it instantly, and it was impressive. They've got Megan Gustafson, who never gets to play that much. They never post her up. This is one of these examples of, like, does anybody know who the hell these players are? Does anybody in Minnesota know who Diamond Miller is? Like, does anybody know in Phoenix who the hell Gustafson is? Does anybody know who Grace Berger is in Indiana? Like, they don't play them like they did in college, and they did a lot in college. Like, how did you miss this in your scouting report? Like, there's a lot of miscommunication. It was like the scouting reports for these teams never passed their scouting reports over to the coach to look over before training camp. Like, just, no, oh, she's white, she can sit in the corner. Talking about Grace Berger. Like, let's play her like Lexi Hall, the exact same way, right? No. And it's like, hey, our team can't hit threes, and the defense is questionable. Let's cut Mike's out. Oh, that makes sense. Stuff like that. I don't even know. I'm just ranting. I stand by this, though. So that's that. So to recap, teams to watch. Use this for your ranking, your order, if you want to watch a game or not. My opinion, Seattle Storm 1, New York Liberty 2, Connecticut Sun 3, Vegas Aces 4, number 5, the Atlanta Dream, number 6, the LA Sparks, number 7, Washington Mystics, 8, Chicago Sky, number 9, the Dallas Wings, number 10, Minnesota Lynx, number 11, Indiana Fever, and number 12, Phoenix Mercury. Insert the, alright, we're going to commercial break here, boys. Oh, and then, no, it's Matthew Dellavedova. And he's like, what's he say? He comes and he goes,
this is Matthew Dellavedova, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
No, who could I do a good reference of instead? You're listening to, hang on, I could do this. You're listening to Trust the Shooters. This is Matthew Dellavedova. I don't know if it's a good accent or bad accent. I would love to get some players. I'm full NBA Australia this. Could do an Australian player watch on this. Continuing down the show rundown there, mate. This is Matthew Dellavedova, and you're listening to Trust the Shooters. Crocker, mate. This is Josh Greeny Green here, mate, and you're listening to Trust the Shooters out there. I haven't done a ton of thought into the MVPs. This is just some basic. It's still very early, so there was a guy had his list on Reddit, and he's like, "Oh, it built it out of analytics. How can it be biased?" I was like, "Well, numbers are biased, so your bias is using numbers only." Anyways, the important thing here. My MVP so far is a no-brainer. It's Jewel Lloyd. It's not a question. She's played bonkers. She's the leader of the team. It's like watching those Kobe teams in between the Shaq years and the Pau Gasol years when Kobe was playing with Smush Parker and Sasha Vujacic and Luke Walton and Lamar Odom and Jordan Farmar and etc. etc. I watch those teams a lot, so you can trust me on this one. Actually, this team is super fun to watch. Seattle. Ezzy's super good too. It's just outside of that, like, Jewel has to score 30 for them to win the games they win. Jewel has to score 30 for them to have a chance to win, and the team has to hit threes for them to win and play great defense. And Ezzy's at least gotta be shot blocking. Because Jewel is the only super threat, that could open up the rest of the team offensively too, so that's why it's MVP her. Number 2 could be Breanna Stewart. I'll give it to Alyssa Thomas at the moment. I'm a sucker for triple doubles. It means she's impacting the game on every side of the court. It means that she could score more, but her job is kind of to read the defense, get the rebounds, fast break, do all this stuff. It's one of those, she doesn't jump out at you, but the numbers do. And this is one where I say, like, maybe we all should trust the numbers on her. Kind of honorable mention too to Bonner. Like, it's kind of a 1-2 punch there, but like Thomas is definitely the engine there, and Bonner's scoring makes up her. I don't know what the fuck, dog. I still haven't quite figured out Connecticut, to be fair, but I'm just saying, like, I saw Bonner's huge game. That was really impressive. But Thomas is usually more consistent, more reliable, and more of the workhorse of the team without even having to score constantly. Then the number 3 would be Breanna Stewart, just because the team is built around her still. Like, it's a weird team comp. Bunch of point guards. I know UNESCO can do a bit more, but it's still like, Stewart, go out and score 25 to 30 a game. And she's done it, and she's dominated defensively. This is where Gray comes up from Atlanta. It could be her. I think she's definitely the number 1 there on that team that I would say is the biggest, kind of like, she stands out the most. She could do a bit more on that team even. I think if she takes a little bit more of a step, she's kind of that point forward kind of role, but she can kind of create her own shot. The ball doesn't stick with her. She scores efficiently. You can kind of see her impact. It's kind of a wash if Howard kind of and a couple other players water it down too much, but by that same logic, this is the issue with a lot of teams and players. Like, I also would say Agumake is like tied for number 4 also. Like, the Sparks have been good, but they've experienced injuries, but the main constant is usually her. She's been very good. The team's built around her. It's an inside-out kind of team. Another honorable mention would be Ezzy, but that was just, like, I don't know. Like, if she plays like her peak self lately, maybe. But the MVPs is simple. It's Jewel Lloyd, Alyssa Thomas, Breanna Stewart, and then 4 and 5 tied would be Atlanta's Gray and the LA Sparks' Agumake. That's it. No aces. You people are. This is where we're gonna get into that issue real quick. I don't think. It's real simple. I don't understand. How can you be the most valuable player on your team when the most valuable player on your team shifts every game? The Seattle's most valuable player every single game. Now, defensively, it's technically Ezzy, but what Jewel Lloyd does rebounding and offensive rebounding is, they kind of equal out, even if, she's still, watch the defensive film. Jewel Lloyd's still doing a lot. It's not just, Ezzy's the second coming of Rudy Gobert. It's like, yeah, but Jewel Lloyd's like, I don't really have a defensive comp for her yet, but she's super heady. She knows everything that's going on and always makes the right play. Very impressive. I just don't think, same thing with Alyssa Thomas. I think you take her out, it's going to slow down that offense. It's going to be just, they'd have to switch a lot of their style up without her. You take off Jewel Lloyd, that team's donezo. Breanna Stewart, I think if you take her off, they'll get better when she shows up because of her gone. But the way that team's built, it truly is built around it. But like I said, you take off any of the starting guards. If Gray, Plum, or Jackie Young all got hurt, Clark starts instead. team goes on perfectly fine. Either the big gets hurt, Candace or Asia gets hurt, Stokes starts, somebody else starts, they go small or something, team moves on perfectly fine. I don't buy that. Like, that's how I look at the MVP. It's like that. I saw it in the oh man, we go full NBA Australia. You know, I saw it in the NBA Finals when Joker was on the bench with a couple foul trouble. I think it was either second or third quarter, and Miami instantly switched to the zone, and Denver kind of struggled to beat it. And then the moment Joker came back in, every possession they got a quality look. Every single possession. And that's when you go, oh, Denver's engine is 100% Joker. There's nothing else they can do without him going against an elite team. That's what I mean. And I know with the Aces, if knock on wood, the injury bug or rest or anything like that happens, we will all see. You will see what I mean. And that's what I mean. I just don't think, you know, I looked it up, like, can a super team win MVP? And they're like, LeBron won too. I'm like, well, I didn't watch basketball those years, but I was protesting those years. I had lost interest in basketball when he went to the Heatles, and I would have been against that then. I just don't think you can have the best. I don't think the MVP can come from the best team when the best team is super duper omega stacked. I just don't like that. That doesn't, you know, it's that old question. Like, my definition of MVP is just that if you take that player off, what's that team like without them? That's how I judge it. I know that's the issue with the MVP is there's a lot of ways to interpret it, but for me, that is it. Let's throw the break here. Let's throw the break here, boys. No, that's wrong, actually.
This is Shane Hill, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
This is Mitch Creaky here. Let's go with power rankings, though. The real power rank, not the fun rankings. You know, who likes fun anyways, you know? It's simple here, boys. Or simple here, girls and boys. Simple here. It's simple. Aces at number 1. It's kind of obvious if you've been listening now. Number 2 would be the Connecticut Sun. It's kind of obvious. Close third, though, the Liberty. Now, this is where we get to some projecting. I think Atlanta's upside puts them at 4. I think the Sparks' upside puts them at 5. I think the Washington's downside puts them at 6. However, if you just want to go by look at the records, and sure, Washington. This is a very malleable chunk. I think Atlanta in 5 games from now, if they keep playing like they have been, they should be there. I think if the Sparks can get into any kind of rhythm with or without injuries, I think they're probably better than Washington. But if Washington continues to play like their record, and I watch and I go, no, they're getting it together, they're just boring to watch, then sure, like, whatever. Then they got that. Like, I just don't think Washington's fun to watch, so it kind of makes it hard too. I'm kind of cheating here at number 7. I have Seattle just because of their ultra upside. I mean, why wouldn't they be up here, right? They beat Dallas. Like, y'all watched that game, or I watched that game, I don't know about y'all. They're that good. They're better than a lot of these bottom teams from here on out. Like, it's not a question. Like, if they can continue, and it's tough the way they play, there's a thin line. But that thin line could be a big line because they shoot from the 3-point line, if you're following me, you know? Not to mention, you know, Jewel Loy. Like, if she can get it going, if Ezzy can hit those threes, watching Ezzy get the rebound and bring it up, go coast to coast, it's really funny to watch. It's really cool. Like, we've officially made it. Like, the W is like what a league full of Bam Adebayos would be at center. Like, Deladon, Ezzy, there's other ones, Candace Parker. It's like, oh, what if that archetype of Bam was everybody's, was more centers? Like, go watch the W then, because that's what we got. Here's the centers that can ball handle, assist, do it all. They don't need a point guard. They can play point guard too. Like, it's pretty cool. Next up, got Dallas here. I got them over Chicago just because they're tanking. Copper's injured. Not sure what's going on there. Technically, I guess Dallas is better than Chicago. So as of now, I have them there. At 10, it's the Lynx. But they have injuries, and I don't trust their coach one bit. Even the coach doesn't trust herself. Oh, speaking of the coach, though, I guess I should have put that earlier. That last win they had, I'm blanking on who it is, so hold up, everybody. Let's look this up. Can we look at teams? I heard the WNBA website is horrible. Everybody says it's bad. Let's see how it goes. I don't like it. Let's go to the Minnesota Lynx. Against the Sparks? But the Sparks are banged up, so it was kind of an asterisk. Damn, Bam had 6 assists. Minnesota, the way they played the Sparks. Now, to be fair, the Sparks didn't have Lexi Brown, so they're second and a half, tied for second and a half best player. So there's a kind of an asterisk. But I watched the game. I judged Minnesota's coach. Every decision she made, she did very good that game. I was impressed. Every decision she made, I was like, yeah, that was the right choice. Yeah, she played offense for defense with Banham. She played Banham a lot. Stuff like that. I was really impressed. I was quick to say tank. Oh, they're tanking. I think their coach is just bad. I think it's more to do with that because the team is super stacked in talent. So keep it small on them. They're better than Chicago. They're talent-wise, just roster-wise, if they can get healthy too. But even without Diamond Miller, no offense, big fan of Diamond Miller. Gotta edit that video coming up soon against Iowa. I feel bad, but didn't we get to do the box one revenge game? So hey, shout out. I'll take Minnesota over Chicago and Dallas, roster-wise, about equal to Seattle, and then we kind of get washed out. Even the Sparks wouldn't, so they're kind of, so they can go anywhere. The Fever, same thing. Really don't like their coach. Got them at 11 on the power rankings. Boston's carrying. Like I said, Boston could be averaging 30 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. She could put up some stupid NBA type numbers there. Keep an eye on that. I'm telling y'all, it's fucking crazy. And then last, as always, Phoenix, horrible rosters. Now they're experiencing injuries. Phoenix is just a dumpster fire. I feel bad. They don't even play Megan. Don't post her up. I mean, I don't know how they don't run pick and roll with Megan into a post. Then Megan makes the read if she wants to score, kick it to Cunningham. Cunningham make a decision. I don't know, stuff like that. What else do you have to do? Because you're not doing nothing now. God damn. This is Rowdy Brokoff, and you're listening to. And then let's go to Rookie of the Year. It's Aaliyah Boston. Saw people mention, hey, it says here on ESPN, Kurt Miller embraces being WNBA's only openly gay male coach. I had no idea he was gay. You know what? I don't care either way. There you go. That's my live reaction on it. Don't care. Just play the death lineup. Keep gassing up Lexi and let her dominate. Lexi could be one of the funnest players in this league. She got stupid range. She got tons of cockiness. A little too much for my taste, but hey, when you could shoot that good, I mean, who the hell am I? I can't do that, so much pressure there. So today game, I'm recording this on the 20th. I don't know if this will be out in time. I'm gonna try. Sun at Storm. I see it's Storm game going just like the Aces game. I don't think the Storm can win that unless they get super hot for 3 and really muck it up. They could be the Pelicans of a couple years ago where if they just play, 2 years ago, if they just play great defense with young guards to really cause havoc on ball handlers and just use their raw energy and play through their elite superstars, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle could make the playoffs this year. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, you got Aces at Mercury. A little midday matinee, 3:30 on NBA TV. Gonna be an ugly game. I mean, I'll try to watch it, but it's gonna be ugly. Thursday the 22nd, Washington at Chicago. Chicago's been slumping. Washington should win that. They need to win that. Friday, 23rd, Ion doubleheader. Liberty at Dream. Yes, please. Thank you. Gonna be an amazing game. 10 o'clock, Dallas at LA. Must win for LA. Gotta win that one. It's a game on Monday. We'll go a little bit further. June 24th, Fever at Aces. Blowout. Mercury at Storm. That was on NBA TV. Mercury at Storms on Twitter. That'll be a good game. Finally, Twitter gets a good game. People are going to be like, oh, the records are doo-doo. But Sunday the 25th, I hate this ESPN3 stuff. It's Sky at Connecticut. I really want to watch that. Don't know if I'm going to be able to. Meanwhile, ABC at 1 o'clock also has got Mystics at Liberty. That's going to be a great game. ABC at 3 o'clock. Rematch Dallas at Sparks. Man. Fever at Aces on Monday on CBSN. I don't know. Gonna be a blowout. And then this is probably where I'll stop it. Tuesday on the 27th. Liberty at Sun. The rematch, right? Didn't they play? Isn't that who beat them? They lost to the Dream. They lost to the Sky and the Mystics. No. They beat Connecticut? Who the hell beat Connecticut? Connecticut has only lost... Wait a minute. Who the hell? Look at the Atlanta Dream. They lost. Look at the Atlanta. This is why I said put this anywhere in the video. The Atlanta Dream started the season, lost to the Wings, win against the Lynx, lost to the Fever, which they probably regret. They beat the Sky, and then they play the best teams for 5 straight games. They lose to the Aces only by 5. They lose to the Liberty. They lose to Connecticut. Then there's some asterisks, right? No UNESCO and the Liberty win. Banged up Bonner in the second half in the Sun game. They win both those. But, you know, they had a get-right game with the Fever. They start scoring more. They're starting to get their team going. They finally start Haley Jones. Other than that weirdo stuff where she started getting picked on by, other than some turnovers late in that Fever game. But hey, that's why you have other players, and they made the proper adjustment for Atlanta, just going, all right, well, if you want to steal the ball from Haley, then we'll put her on the bench, play somebody better, and it's not going to score as much, but is better ball handler, going to pass more, and now you have to deal with that. And like I said, Atlanta's on a trajectory upwards, and they've already gotten some of their games against the best teams out the way, so that's why I said Atlanta should be on the way up big time. But anyways, like I was saying, 7 p.m. NBA TV, super game. I don't know why they hit it on NBA TV. That's really annoying. Instead, 8 p.m. CBSN, we get Storm at Lynx. Well, at least hopefully we see a lot of my favorite players and team in that game. So, and then CBSN Wings at Mercury. You know, really bad game there too. Imagine Taurasi versus Enrique and who can miss more shots. Oh, there you go, everybody. And on that note, I do think we have to end this. Do you think we could do another NBA Australia reference? You're listening to, this is Jock Landau, Big Cock Jock the Rooster. And you're listening to Trust the Shooters. Who else can that turn to British? Oh man, I would do the women's one. Like, this is Georgia Amore here, and then we do this is Alyssa Smith. We do this is what's her name, Melbourne here. This is the coach for the New York Liberty here, and I'm British as fuck. This is Bluey here, mate. I like doing the Della. This is Matthew Dellavedova here. This is Matthew Dellavedova. That's not right. This is Matthew. Alright, that's it. We're in here. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. If y'all like this, watch this, let me know, because I'll do these again. And if nobody watches and cares, then we won't. If you would like to see more of a traditional, I wouldn't mind doing it the NBA Australia way. He does a breakdown of, like, goes over the games, talks about them a little bit. I would do that if y'all watch. I would take notes on the game and come back. Here's what I watched. Here's what I saw. A little mix of NBA Australia mixed with thinking basketball. And if nobody watches, well, then I just did this for me, and I'll look back months later. Shout out to future me. What up? That's my dude, in case y'all didn't know. Thanks for listening if you exist out there, made it this far. Shout out to all the ghosts if not. Ooh. Getting loopy. Ooh. What are you keys doing? The keys over here being keys.